Welcome to Data, Dollars, and Dynasty, the podcast where data meets destiny. 3 voices, 1 mission, using data to build a dynasty. Next.
End of the day, we want to build a dynasty. So what I do each day, I'm more concerned about my successors. All right, so it's really around taking data, something I'm passionate about, something that is everywhere, it's abundant, all right? And making dollars from that, okay? And building a dynasty.
Plus,
we hope to help you learn and be able to take a snippet from this podcast and use it in your lives going forward.
Now welcoming your hosts, Jeremy Sr., JJ, and Jaden.
Welcome to our podcast titled Data, Dollars, and Dynasty. This podcast is coming to you from SaNDAI Global. My name is Jeremy Williams Sr. Joining this podcast with me, my co-host, Jeremy Williams Jr., and Jaden Williams, and special guest, Corey Drummond. Today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about what our company is about and tell you some exciting things about this podcast, and also let you know what you can expect from us as we go through this journey of what we think is enlightening the world around how data, AI, and tech can be used to brighten and improve the lives of marginalized populations, disadvantaged communities across the globe. As I said, I'm Jeremy Williams Sr. I'm the CEO of SaNDAI Global, the brainchild behind this, what we hope to be a fascinating, enjoyable experience, this podcast. I'm going to let my co-hosts introduce themselves. Start with Jeremy Jr.
Yeah, hello, everybody. My name is Jeremy Williams Jr. or JJ Williams. And essentially, everybody that knows me, they know that I have a passion for helping others to accomplish their goals, whether it be mentally, physically, or even spiritually. So I hope to be able to help you guys out that decide to tune into this podcast going forward, to help you guys to, again, accomplish either of those goals. And of course, like my father said, we hope to help you guys learn and basically be able to take a snippet from this podcast and use it in your lives going forward. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Corey Drummond and let her introduce herself, and then we'll go from there.
Hi, everybody. I'm Corey Drummond, and I am over social media at SaNDAI. But in regards to the podcast, I'm going to be helping these guys out and being a producer or director behind the scenes and guiding them in this journey. So, yeah, I'm excited to get started.
We definitely need some production talent on the team. All right, I'm going to let Jaden round up and we'll get started with this initial podcast.
All right. Hello, world. Jaden Williams here. Welcome to the first episode. Essentially, I'm the youngest child of Jeremy Williams. I'm just here to basically facilitate the voice of the younger crowd, I should say. My hopes is that this podcast will be able to capture the growth of not just me, but everyone involved, and be able to share that on a larger platform and just keep things real, fun, and insightful.
Perfect. Yeah. So I'm going to start off and talk a little bit about our company, SaNDAI Global, in the podcast. Again, it's called Data, Dollars, and Dynasty, and there's a lot embedded in that. There's a lot baked into that title. Let's first start with SaNDAI. So SaNDAI is actually an acronym. It stands for, it's not SAND and it's not AI, but it stands for Safety Net Data Advisors Incorporated. It's a company I started back in 2018. Initially, I wanted to focus in on helping health centers and hospitals just make sense of data. Think about safety net. Safety net implies something that prevents people from failure, something that catches you when you fall. And so the clients that we targeted initially were clients that didn't necessarily use data. They don't use data as effectively as they can to improve the lives of their patients in their community. So we saw an opportunity to come in and offer some services there. And we just gravitated to expand beyond just the hospitals. Now we're serving government agencies, small businesses, corporate clients as well, and individuals. So in the SaNDAI umbrella, we have a for-profit. It's called SaNDAI Global. SaNDAI Global, it's all about making money, right? It wants to go out and serve companies across the globe, as it implies, and it wants to make a lot of money doing so. And in that process, we provide 2 types of services, right? We have data services and we have AI upskilling services. Our data services really are built around helping individuals and organizations just take data and make sense of it. Data is everywhere, right? And as we go through this podcast, we're going to show you how data is everywhere. And each of us can find a way to leverage data to improve our lives, whether it be personal lives, whether it be professional careers, health well-being, even spirituality. Is a way you can take data, learn from it, and activate it to where you benefit from it. So for us, it's about taking that data from creation to communication. So we have a 7-step process that we basically preach, and we make money from that. All right. And then the other side of the fence is this AI stuff, right? AI, it's really come out of nowhere. It's always been there, but a lot of us have already slept on the concept of AI. It's here, right? So we see a tremendous need to upskill the world, especially those who are blind to what AI represents. So we have upskilling programs through SaNDAI Global that we sell. All right. Now, on the other side of the fence, we have our nonprofit entity called SaNDAI Cares. SaNDAI Cares is all about just helping. All right. So we had a few programs there that are pretty cool. We're going to bring some content to you in the weeks ahead relating to a cool program we have for high school kids. We're going to even have some of our kids come in and talk about that program. We'll have the program lead come in and join us for a chat about the significance of that program. But it's called Data Gen Scholars, and it's really around taking data, generative AI learnings, and getting kids to learn about this stuff, and then we pay them. So that's what we call a learn and earn program. And then we have a few other programs that we offer there to different disadvantaged groups around the world. And we'll talk more about those programs too. So that's what SaNDAI is about. This podcast, Data, Dollars, Dynasty, right? So think about the data being the foundational aspect of what we want to do in terms of growing dollars. Like I said, SaNDAI Global wants to make money. And then end of the day, we want to build a dynasty. So some of the content you're going to get out of this podcast is the reason I started my company up was to preserve a legacy for myself. Not so much concerned about me and what I do each day. I'm more concerned about my successors. And of course, you got 2 of them here on the call. Well, the only 2 on the call. All right. So it's really around helping, taking data, something I'm passionate about, something that is everywhere, it's abundant. All right. And making dollars from that. Okay. And building a dynasty. So that's what that implies in that title. Now, here's the beautiful thing about this podcast. You're not just going to get data. I mean, data is boring, right? We're not going to talk about just data. We're going to talk about a lot of different things in that, like a lot of data points that have influenced our lives, right? And the youngsters on the call are going to do their best to bring some flavor to that conversation. And my job is really just to steer it, right? We're going to come in and talk about things from working out, eating well. Like, there will be a lot of different things we're going to talk about. I can't even tell you everything right now. We're going to talk about entrepreneurship, the power of entrepreneurship. I might throw some stuff in there on taxes. All right. So I can't tell you what you're going to get today. We do have a roadmap, but you know how that goes. When we plan, the universe laughs at us, right? So that plan is most likely going to change as we get through the future podcasts. You guys want to run anything by me that I missed in this introductory podcast?
We just go around and we just say just a little bit more about ourselves and just short, how did we end up here?
Great idea, Corey. Junior, just give a little background of who you are. Of course, everybody knows you guys, you're my kids. So that's implied by the co-host title in the podcast. So just talk more about your role with the company and what you hope to do in terms of being a servant via this company to mankind.
Of course. Well, let me do this. Let me start with my personal side. Again, I know everybody that's listening to this, you guys may not be in parallel with me professionally. And what I mean by that is you guys may not be trying to go in the same industry as me. And that's all right. So just from a personal standpoint, I am a young, I guess you could say professional. I'm only 25. I still got a lot to do, a lot to learn, a lot of growing to do and whatnot. But one thing that I will say is that over my time of learning and, of course, going through my life, I have had the chance to meet a bunch of other individuals that have helped me get to my level. And some of you guys that are listening, you guys may be looking for that mentor. You may be looking for somebody to just give you that hand of advice to help you get to, either tomorrow or even just figuring out life. And that's okay. That's fine. We hope that this podcast can serve as an outlet for you so that you may be able to find that inspiration if you're looking for it. But again, just to take a step back, I'm a recent college grad. I went to this small school known as George Mason University. If you're from the DMV area, you may be familiar with it. Even if you're around
What's DMV?
So in America, you got, again, everybody knows 50 states. So the DMV area is known as the region that basically 3 states meet, or 3 territories, you could say. For some of you guys, I know what states are. So there's DC, Washington, DC, and then you got Northern Virginia, and then, of course, you could say Southern Maryland, right? As far as where you draw the parallels and the lines of distinction, it's totally up to you. But that's what I meant by when I said DMV. It's the Northern Virginia area, basically. And again, went to that school, had a great experience there and whatnot. Of course, everybody has their own thoughts on whether college is worth it or not. But again, that's what I did. So I went to college, graduated, came out, and then started working for the business immediately. I knew what I wanted to do. Some of you guys, I know what you want to do, and that's fine. That's totally okay. Nothing wrong with that. But as far as what I do for the actual organization, I basically help to manage all of our operations, whether that be for the for-profit or the non-profit. Like I said earlier, I love helping people to grow mentally, physically, or even spiritually. So that's basically what I do inside my work. I help others to learn the operations of the company. I help them to learn new skills that they may need to obtain for future roles and whatever it may be. So that's essentially what I do. And again, one thing I do want to state before I do pass the mic over is that there is no distinction, or there is no, I guess you could say, a limit to who can listen to this podcast. You can be as young as a high school student or as old as a great grandparent, right? We believe that everybody can learn something from these podcasts, and we believe that, everybody can become a part of the community that we want to build here regarding our audience and those that we have listening to our podcast. So that's a bit about me. I'll go ahead and pass it on, and we can go ahead and get this wrapped up.
Okay, so again, my name is Corey Drummond. I am from the great state of South Carolina, your favorite Southern belle. And yes, I am a Southern diva, and I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina shortly after graduating college. I'm 25. I never really knew what I wanted to do growing up, but one of my high school teachers told me that I had a really beautiful voice and I should do broadcasting. So when I got to college, I was on a scholarship to be on my first college's dance team. So I danced and I majored in mass communications. And while I loved being a student athlete, a college athlete, and I grew up dancing, I decided to transfer. And I didn't continue my dance career, but I did find joy in being a mass comm major and really just working on that. I realized quickly that I did not want to be a news reporter. I actually liked the behind the scenes of mass communication. So I ended up really enjoying design, social media, marketing. And so, after I graduated, I am currently pursuing my master's in marketing at Wake Forest, and I'm here at SaNDAI. But I'm just kind of in a different field, but using my experience in how we can use these tools in marketing and social media in any field. You can apply this to anything. So, that's...
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right, Jaden, you want to round it up?
A little bit about me. As a kid, I've always had a deep interest in technology, problem solving, and specifically software development. If you know anything about 2000s kids, you know how we always are on the iPads and the computers and just tinkering around with technology. So I've pretty much spent my childhood doing exactly that. And of course, the natural path was to follow my older brother. So for college, I went to George Mason University. I'm currently still going through it right now. Computer science with a concentration in software engineering. And in recent years, well, I shouldn't say recent years, let me go back. Since I've been in middle school, my dad's been trying to start a company. So we've been pretty much involved in the professional world since a young age. And he's recently saw a spike in AI and machine learning and stuff along that line. So I naturally have fallen in with the company and what we provide to customers. And like my brother said, deeply entrenched with self-development and also helping others. So for this podcast, it's more of a way for me to just get my voice out there a little more, while also being able to provide people my age and my demographic outlet as well to tune in and be able to learn quality things, right? Along the lines of father, son, brother connection. So hopefully you'll be able to learn something from this. I know I'll be able to learn a lot. And yeah, it'll be about me.
Yep. Well said. So look, this is to listeners. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about who I am. We want you to firstly look us up. So, SaNDAIGlobal.com, SaNDAICares.org. Look us up. You can learn more about our backgrounds there. Again, the impetus behind these podcasts is really to bring what we think is a unique voice. I mean, I haven't gone out there and listened to every podcast out there on the planet. So maybe somebody's doing the same thing we're doing. I don't know. But we do think we offer a unique blend of learning experiences that a lot of people can benefit from. And again, like I said, we're not here to preach. It's going to be a fun time for us here to put our voices on wax, if you will, and to share some insights that we think can help build better lives and better outcomes for the globe. Just doing our part to convey those different insights.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Data, Dollars, and Dynasty. The views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of the individual speakers and do not reflect the views and opinions of SaNDAI Global or SaNDAI Cares. Visit us on our website at datadollarsdynasty.com to learn more about our companies and our priorities. Also, follow us on social media at Data Dollars Dynasty. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Thanks again for tuning in. We look forward to catching you on the next episode.